I am Wild Humphrey, and they call me the Fact Master, because I'll tell you all those things you never knew you didn't know. I'm faster than Google, and everything I tell you is from up here, and that is a fact. Now, if you think about the Scottish Wars of Independence, well, that was a bloody time. They started in the year 1296, and the two opposing military leaders, one was King Edward I of England, also known as Hammer of the Scots. The other was Scotland's very own William Wallace. Now, Edward I had his ideas that he was expanding his kingdom and taking Scotland. William Wallace was never about to let that happen, and he stood firm in Edward's way. Many battles were fought. One famous one was the Battle of Stirling Bridge, which took place on the 11th of September 1297, and William Wallace defeated Edward's forces on that day, and defeated them quite easily. The following year, in July 22nd, the Battle of Falkirk, it was Edward's turn to rout the Scots, and this story went on for years. In 1305, things had come to a head because Edward couldn't believe his luck. He captured William Wallace. So what does he do? He had him executed in London. Wallace was hung, drawn and quartered on the 23rd of August 1305, and Edward I must have thought, thank goodness I've got Scotland. But he didn't have Scotland. He thought he did. William Wallace had gone, but someone else now stood in Edward's way. But 2 years later, less than 2 years later, on the 7th of the 7th, 1307, that was the day Edward I died. And although William Wallace and Edward I had gone, these wars still raged on, but now there were different leaders at the helm. And when I say different, very different. Scotland had Robert the Bruce. England had King Edward II, the son of Edward I, also known as Edward of Carnarvon. But Edward of Carnarvon was nothing like his father. He just assumed that having more men in his army, in his forces, he would defeat the Scots. No chance. Robert the Bruce was far too savvy. He had a different battle plan to defeat the English, and he had no time for Edward II. And what Edward II did, he met with Robert the Bruce in battle on the 23rd of June in the year 1314, and this famously became known as the Battle of Bannockburn. Now, what was unusual about this battle? It lasted 2 full days. Now, that never happened. These battles were fast and furious, and blood and thunder and guts spilled on the battlefield. But Edward had brought an army of over 25,000 men to Scotland. So because of the huge numbers, this battle raged. Problem was, Edward didn't have a clue how to fight a battle. Whereas Robert the Bruce, he had mobs of soldiers, warriors in attack mode who went and destroyed everything in their way. They were armed to the teeth with everything you can think of. Pickaxe handles, spikes, knives, daggers, swords, you name it, they had it. What Edward brought was his longbowmen. Now, his longbowmen had been very effective, but in Scotland, at these close quarters, Longbowmen? No, not the right thing. Thousands of Edward's men were slaughtered during these 2 days. Edward's key men were killed along with them, and all Edward could do was turn on his horse, and he fled as fast as his horse could gallop off to Dunbar and jumped aboard a ship to get away. For days this battle belonged to Scotland. It's arguably the most famous battle ever that they won, because maybe 1,000 of the Scots were killed during these 2 days, but well over 10,000 of the English were killed. Now I say the English. Edward brought men from Ireland, Wales and England. In fact, he should have had a lot more men there, but a lot of people had no time for Edward II and they ignored his call. Well, he did live to fight another day, but Scotland, as being part of England, well, that was gone. He had no choice. And in 1328, what was it, the Treaty of Edinburgh-Northampton was signed, which officially gave Scotland their full independence back. They never really lost it in truth, because they wouldn't let the English take it, no matter how hard they fought. They were steadfast. Robert the Bruce lived a happy life in Scotland and was well respected, a great military leader with a tactical brain to match. Edward II, well, he was nothing like his father. He didn't have that same clout in England. Even his wife turned against him. So much so, she actually had him murdered 1 year before that treaty was signed. And that is a fact. But the bloody Battle of Bannockburn turned everything for Scotland. The only thing is, today, no one's absolutely certain where this battle took place. They know sort of there or thereabouts, but can they pinpoint it? No. And that is a fact. I'm Wild Humphrey, the Fact Master. Thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got so much more to share with you. And remember, I'm faster than Google. And what I tell you is from up here. So, look forward to seeing you soon. In the meantime, take it easy, look after yourself, and I'll be back with much more, and that is a fact. Cheers.